chat. Stand by as we kind of rev up the speed tonight. How's everybody doing? My boy Cola here is, holy shit, he's building a silo.
Yeah.
It's the Pro Wrestling X Granary edition that going to be down on the farm.
Just Eric and I tonight.
Yeah, no Jam Tart. I just got done talking to him. He is in the middle of rehab. He's doing all right. His spirits are good. He got beat up pretty good on the surgery table. They I guess Dave did a bunch of. He's trying to convince me that he was like an athlete back in the day. I don't know if I'm believing him or not, but he was saying that like his bones and stuff. Again, he's putting himself over. His bones were like in really really good shape or something. So the surgeon had to like kick his ass even more in order to get the knee replacement fitting just right. So they said his rehab's going to be a little bit more lengthy and painful than it normally would be. So, but but he's doing all right. He says hi. He feels bad. He's actually just about ready to get into the rehab right now. So he could not join us for Twitchy here tonight. But I thought. Sent Cole a message yesterday tonight or this afternoon. He was like, "Yeah, I think I want to work on Old Blue, get a little cage action going here tonight." So I thought, "Well, shit, they're gonna, people will pop for that." So hopefully we'll get a nice little crowd here tonight. And you guys know the drill by now. If you're, if you've been following us for any length of time, just keep fire questions, fire any of that kind of stuff. And I don't have a ton to talk about here tonight. Boy Robert's been busy with some day job stuff, trying to get some bills paid, just like we all do, and so things have come to a little bit of a slowdown. But that's nothing unusual for us. So,
Yeah, man, that was me the other week. There, I was just doing OT just for like 2 weeks straight. I was doing pretty solid OT. Wasn't really able to come home and. Didn't even want to look at a computer anymore.
Dude, I know, man. Those weeks sucked. I had a couple of weeks like that. Pretty much when you were working your OT, so was I. I had a couple of pretty ugly, not ugly, but they were just really hard site launches, and just had another one on Monday. And those always kick your ass because like 90, they always say, at least I don't know if it's in your line of work, but my line of work when you're doing websites, they say 90% of the work is done in the last 10% of the time. And I can totally believe it.
Oh yeah, there's a bit of that. Definitely a bit of that.
Because you get that crunch mode going, and boy, your butt gets kicked pretty hard. I'm getting to be an old man. I can't do this stuff anymore. All those late nights and stuff, I just can't do it. Sorry, I'm eating.
Yeah, they're
I'm starving. I was like, just ready to sit down. I was like, you know what sounds really good right now? Some candy. I wasn't smart, and I didn't go out to the grocery store the day after Halloween like you're supposed to, and clean up on all the discount candy.
Man, I bought like 60 Reese's Pieces cups for $12.
Seriously?
It was insane, dude. Yeah, it was crazy. It was $6 for a 30 bag, so I bought 2, right? It was, and absolutely out of control. I didn't get to eat them all. We actually gave most of them away.
Did you really?
So,
Did you use a pretty popular destination?
Well, we went to a friend's place. They're renting a house, so there was quite a few people. There was quite a few kids there, and there was lots of people, really enthusiastic Halloween people, kind of over there. Mm-hmm. So everyone was dressed up and yelling at the kids to come and trick or treat. And spooky voices and stuff.
No kidding. See, I got a friend of mine. I'll go ahead. Keep going.
No. Go.
So I got a friend of mine. I got a friend of mine who it's a couple, and his wife is as hardcore Halloween as it gets. Right? Like you go to their front lawn, and they got all the big giant inflatables and animatronics and all this stuff. Like 7 or 8 of these giant inflatable things, and then she was a member of the JCs, as was I, and one of the things the JCs always kind of did regionally was they would do haunted houses every year. And our chapter decided not to do it because it costs a lot of money to build a haunted house from scratch every year. And so she bought all the pieces and parts for this haunted house, and builds a little walkable haunted house in her side yard. And the thing is bananas. It's absolutely fantastic. And so all the kids all sit there and line up, and they go through one by one, and she jumps out and scares them, and she's got all these great, oh my God, it's insane. It's insane. But incredibly cool at the same time. And so that was always fun. The problem is we got pretty cold and pretty wet with the weather in our neck of the woods, and yeah, that was no fun. But yeah, the thing was cool. Definitely. So we got a question, I believe. Now, question if I'm wrong. We have a cage, but it's a Hell in a Cell, right? With the chain link and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's yeah, for sure. Yeah, it would be pretty easy to turn that into a, one of these blue steel cages.
Yeah, we're going old school Saturday night's main event, WrestleFest, old school big giant blue bar cage that they still haven't brought back. Don't understand why.
I think it's there's no give on that sucker, right?
Well,
I think that was the idea. True. People were hurting themselves running into it. I
always thought that thing would be so much easier if you're a wrestler to climb in and out of that. That's why I always thought they went to the big blue cages, because it was a little more TV friendly. Like, you had bigger spaces between the bars, and then it was easy for a guy like Hogan or Bundy to get their big ass feet into those, because I don't see how the wrestlers climb chain link. I can't. There's no way. It's too. The holes are too small for their feet, I would imagine. But I guess they do it. But that has not made an appearance in a video game. I don't think it's in 2K16. I don't think. I haven't seen any screenshots of it. If it does,
that would be a given.
But,
I think the problem is, syncing animation up. If you've already made your animation, if you made all the characters climb a steel.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It kind of is, because the links are so small. It doesn't matter where the hands or feet are placed, really.
Gotcha.
Whereas with these blue bars, it's more like a ladder, so you have to you really have to make everything line up. But I figure if we build this thing first, then if we build the animations for the cage first, and then when we make the chain link one, it should match up. It would be easier to go the other way.
Right, I totally hear you. We had a question: will there be an animation for exiting the cage via the cage door? That's a very interesting question.
Well, I guess so. I don't know how you feel about this, Eric, but I don't like the cage door.
I only like the cage door spot because it adds a little bit extra drama to the match. You know what I mean? It's just another option. Where you got one guy climbing up the wall and then another one out the cage. It's a tough call, because you're right. In a video game scenario, all you got to do is just knock them down really quick at the other side of the ring and then make a break for it. But it'd be one thing if you could actually you had to either shake it or do something where you had to push the bunch, grapple it open or something like that to give it a bit of a delay. So you really had to kick his ass to be able to escape that way. But it's always nice to be able to get the slamming the door shut on the head spot. I always thought that was pretty cool.
That's true. I agree, I guess. I just feel like it's just not a very logical. Why would you ever climb over the?
Right.
Why would you ever climb over the big tall cage when you can just take the door?
That's a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, I think I think I have this distinct memory. I went to the Kellogg Arena when I was a young boy. I won free tickets off the radio station, and the main event in that particular wrestling show was the British Bulldogs against the Hart Foundation inside of a steel cage. And that's how the match ended. Is the kind of the cheap way out, where they pulled, the Hart Foundation pulled some trickeration, some cheating shenanigans, and they got out the door somehow. Either they were can't remember exactly what happened because the exit to the door was opposite where I was sitting. So I couldn't quite tell what was happening. But it was one of those deals where I think they were both trying to escape the cage, and maybe Neidhart like reached inside the cage from outside and held British Bulldog back while Bret Hart like climbed over the top of him and out the door. I distinctly remember that. So it's odd what you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are some cool finishes you can put together with it. But,
I think it would just be. I think it's one of those deals too where, I don't know. It's kind of a hard thing. Maybe there could be a match rule that you just said, you know what, escaping via the cage doesn't really count, or so like the cage is just more of a battleground as opposed to like the match rules.
Yeah.
And so that would be a way to just exit the cage quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that would be a fairer sort of game design approach. Like what I like, do you remember those TNA matches where they would put like a baseball bat up the corners of the cage? And it kind of gives you it gives you a reason to climb the cage without it being
right.
So I like that. Especially if
there could be some things where you can maybe get crotched on the cage door, like if it swung open, you could actually be able to stand on it. I don't know. I mean, again, you're thinking out loud. Like I said, I can't think of a game that the cage has ever had a door. I can't think of one.
Yeah, usually they don't, right?
Right.
I'm sure one of the SmackDown games did.
Well, I'm sure somebody in chat will let us know. But I couldn't think of one. I couldn't. Nothing was coming to my brain anyway. The other trick is that's always a little bit tricky too, and I don't know how you want to handle this. Is how to handle like the wall facing the camera, because sometimes they'll have like that kind of ghosted back or something. I don't.
Oh, I'm sure we can do something there.
Or if it's even necessary.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Robert. I'm sure Robert can take care of that.
SmackDown series, SVR series had a cage door. That's SmackDown versus Raw, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So we got to look at some YouTube videos there and see. Were they able to escape out the door, or was it just decoration, gang? Let us know. Legends of Wrestling 2, I'm hearing. Video game wrap-up. Just how much have I missed? Oh, we've been broadcasting for a grand total of like 12 minutes, so you're just getting started here, brother.
Yeah, and this what I'm building here is more of just a template, because I think I can use a lot of the parts from that other cage I already built to construct this guy. What I might make is I might make some custom hinges for this, but I kind of want to just get some rough scale in here so we can all have a look. And do we want it to be a little taller? Like how?
We'll have to get online and start doing some homework on that. In fact, I'll bet. In fact, there's a Twitter account. It's called the WWE Archivist, and that's like what he does for Titan. Is he like manages all the inventory for like all the props that have ever existed.
Are you talking about the is that where they have like this big like hangar full of junk?
Yes. And it looks amazing, and he posts like weird screenshots all the time, and I'm pretty sure I've seen him post the blue cage before. And it would be interesting. He might even be able to get us, measurements or something.
Yeah. I feel like we may need to go slightly larger than, or at least taller. I guess that's the only way we can really go. But I feel like we may have to go like a little taller so that there's a bit more. It takes longer to get out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Like I'm afraid that matches will be too short.
Well, because I remember that blue cage being kind of it's so weird because so much is determined on, and this is something we'll have to kind of talk about a little bit, is okay, if we decide to start getting into different ring sizes, how WCW's rings were so much smaller than WWE's, does then
Yeah.
we have to have a WCW blue steel cage? You know what I mean? Like, do we're going to have to think about that kind of stuff, or is it something that scales, or I don't know. Like I said, that's above my pay grade, but I'm
They
sure
definitely
there's
got
going to be.
bigger.
What's
I think
that?
I think they definitely got bigger as time went on.
Yeah, because I seem to remember like the one like Hogan and Bundy, the one they fought in. I think it was WrestleMania 2. Like the cage wasn't really that tall. Like when they're standing up on the top rope, like their arms are on the corners of the blue cage. You know what I mean? In fact, there are probably just tons of screen captures out there, or tons of green screen grabs. I mean, I'm a WWE Network subscriber. I'd be able to look all that up.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a nice large reference shot of this cage.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone, I don't know, if anyone finds what they feel like is a really nice reference shot, then shoot it into the chat, because that would be cool. Okay, so it seems like in the middle, there's sort of like a larger beam.
Yeah, let me.
Almost like-
In fact, I'll Google while they're all looking and stuff. They're gonna be doing the same thing I'm doing, but
It looks like the corners are all square as well. That's interesting. There's lots of little details here to hit on, actually. I was looking at a screenshot. It's like an old one of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, and they're in a cage, and Hulk Hogan is on the second rope, and his head is clearing the top of the cage already. So it's pretty small.
Well, I'm looking at. Okay, I've got a couple of different shots here. Your instincts are right. The panel, it's made up of two different panels along the side. It's not one continuous thing. It's like two square. They're almost square cage beams.
Yeah, like the frame of it is square, right? And
yes,
then
like you have like two segments,
bars.
and they're just bolted next to each other.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All
All right. Let's make one of
In fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll pop open my my window here so you guys can see. Window capture. Yeah, there's one here that I'll just start pasting some of these in fact, do you have the broadcast open by any chance?
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, the stream?
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
don't.
I'll just paste it to your Skype because that's probably the easiest way to do this.
Well, you can, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, there's like tape on the corners too.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's what I was.
Maybe put it in
noticing.
chat too, so they can see what we're looking at there.
Yeah, I'm working on it right now.
Huh, interesting. That's cool. We'll definitely have to do some any little thing that helps it, so it's not just like a series of bars. It's pretty boring. Anything we can do, any details we can add to kind of add some interest.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that some of them are square. The edge ones are square and a little bit bolder, right? And kind of
Hang on, guys. I'm patching some stuff in here together. Hang on.
this is maybe too big here.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see how some of this stuff comes together here. Because that's about all you can really do is just keep checking all these different reference shots.
Yeah. Yeah, so, okay.
Yeah, giving people that have been catching. I had an old Skype chat pop up when I opened up your chat, and people are asking about drunk Dave and drunk Robert. It's like, oh shit. So that's an old inside joke, gang. It's all good. Trust me, we're all stone cold sober. It's all good. And very boring. Yeah, because that thing does not look terribly tall. In fact, look like Hogan. If you look at that one shot that I just gave you, Hogan's head. Hogan's 6'8", and it kind of looks like that cage maybe is 8 feet tall at the most.
Bro, check this shot out. That I here, let's share that one. It's like, and these are tall guys, I guess, but still. Like if you look at, I think if I remember, Bret Hart and Isaac Yankem had a match in a cage.
See, I guess I don't remember.
He's tall.
Yeah, he is, because Kane's almost 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get a good shot of that. We probably should be going after that cage. Yeah, here we go.
Sorry, I'm just kind of moving some of
the otherwise, you know, it would be over in 5 seconds.
For real. I mean, that's you're exactly right. Yeah, that's a boy. Yeah, because that's exactly the same cage. It looks like, because then you have some wiring around the top, kind of like some kind of a suspension. Like you can kind of see there's like a wire along the top edge of that. And then let's take a look at this one. Oh my God! Look at Kane's hair. Holy Toledo! That is some good looking stuff right there.
Yeah, man.
DDS. No, but that's right on the money. Okay, it's a good look. Yeah, because you can kind of see like it's like a couple of cage segments, right bolted next to each other. It's not like one continuous. Just thought of the cage match. Maybe you could lose the scale where you had hard to climb up, or you do a hard cage where you can climb up. Gonna one day go and add title, but there's a lot of questions in there. Yeah, back when Kane didn't need a wig. Ooh, snap. Possibility of adding the classic drag into the cage. I think there's going to be any number of things. It would be really, really fun to start experimenting on how you interact with a lot of these objects. I think that's going to be pretty fun experimentation for all this stuff. I have no idea. I have no idea what the possibilities are for this kind of stuff, but will Pro Wrestling X have its own specialty match? I have absolutely no idea at this point. I think that's going to be, like I said, it's going to be half the fun is to start seeing what kinds of things we can come up with ourselves, even just between some of our own gimmick matches. Because I know, like I said, TNA had the reverse battle royal. WWE had Hell in a Cell, and then you kind of had WCW had War Games, and it would be nice to come up with our own signature match. But I have a feeling we're going to hit the low-hanging fruit first, and I know Dave absolutely wants the C4 match. So that'd be kind of fun to recreate that in a 3D game. That would be kind of cool, right out of Fire Pro Wrestling. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, but boy, I've forgotten about that cage. That's it definitely doesn't look as menacing. But I'll bet it's. I think that does. I think it's got to be utility, because it's just got to be so much easier to get in and out of that thing and get over it. But you're right. I never realized how short it was. That's not. I'll bet that's an 8-foot cage at the most.
It's tiny, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you said Hogan's 6'8". Andre, when he stands up straight, it's like 7'2". Yeah, so maybe it's a little bit taller than 8 feet. But oh yeah, we need an exploding cage match. You know we do. You know we do. Let me see if I can find. Evolution of the steel cage. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I can't remember for sure, but I thought the archivist has taken a picture of it, and shown it off in the on the Twitter feed. That's a fun Twitter feed too, because he'll just post all kinds of crap, and then he'll try to okay, name the event, or name what this actually is. That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. Well, I'll keep looking, but I was hoping they had some actual specs. Like I said, I'll bet that's somebody we could reach out to on Twitter and say, hey, how tall is that thing? And I'll bet he could find out. He's probably got other props hanging on it. Yeah, he's saying it's the wrestling, of course, is saying it's a 15-foot structure. Yeah, but I don't think that tells what dimension. It looks like it's 15 wide. I can guarantee you.
Yeah, that's right, eh?
You know,
well,
20 feet in the air! You know, all that stuff. Give me a break.
Yeah. Maybe from the floor.
Floor down, yeah. I don't know. How tall is that? Is that like a four foot ring apron? Like how tall is that usually?
I don't know. Yeah, I think something close to 4. I'm not totally sure. I just adopted the size from Uprising, so
yeah.
I didn't actually really get in there and figure it out.
Yeah, because I said that just does not look like a real tall structure. It does look like the same one. It doesn't look like there was multiple versions of it. You know what I mean? Like you know, W have different cages. God, what is all these stupid banner ads they put on their own website? Who does that? Oh, and then they got War Games. War Games. We've got to figure out how to do War Games.
I should mention this this ring too. This is the updated. It's a little bit updated. It's I noticed, like, I felt like the wrestlers, and maybe they still do, felt kind of small in the other cage. The things like these poles are much thicker in the game, and everything, basically, the ropes are thicker. It's just very, I changed the widths of a few things. The turnbuckle pads are much larger, and I think it kind of makes the characters feel small.
Mm-hmm.
That
looks, I noticed that. I was like, wow, that actually looks like a different ring.
Yeah, it's slightly different. The actual square, the surface area of it is the same. It is still fairly large. Like, looking at it top down,
it's a big ring.
I mean, the ring is huge. Yeah, it's pretty big.
Well, I tell you, it's so funny. I was watching, and anybody who follows us on Twitter was kind of knowing that I was doing this. Every once in a while, there is a wrestling, I think it's called Beyond Wrestling. I think that's who puts it on. They do something called Raw Alternative, where they will stream nothing but indie matches on their YouTube channel from a variety of different leagues, you know, a variety of independents around the world. And because WWE was in London, they decided to do one that was all British wrestling. And that was actually pretty fun. There was a bunch of different leagues there, IPW UK, WXW. There was a few other ones, but it's funny because a lot of the British rings are really small, and it's more, you know, mat-based kind of stuff. Especially the guys who are a little bit more technical, but it's so much fun watching the different kind of venues. Some of these are just like in these little. They almost look like they're bars or something like that, but the crowds are insane, and it's so much fun to watch this stuff. And yeah, it's fun watching these guys try to work in what's clearly a really small ring. And it's fun,
yeah, man,
even thinking about how we would do that kind of stuff when it comes to, you know, start getting more venues and all that stuff.
Even in their big ring, I find there's a lot of times I just get I get too close to the ropes. And our ring is like massive, you know.
Yeah, but I don't mind it. I mean, I think it feels right when you're in there playing. Doesn't feel like tight quarters.
No. Well, yeah. It is, you know, there's more space.
Because WCW was the one that had the really not obnoxiously small, but I remember when I first went to because that was my very first wrestling. Oh, no, hang on, I gotta think about that. No, I did go to a WWE show first, and then I remember going to WCW later on, and I remember wow, that ring looks really small. Or maybe just it looked so much bigger on TV, but in fact, no, it really was just a small, you know, it really was just a small ring.
Okay, so I still want to leave. I still want to leave a space for the door here.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we may not want to have one.
Well, even I mean, it sounds stupid, but I mean, it sounds, you know, that could be something that could be incorporated into the entrance of the match. Like they walk up the stairs and they go through the door to get in there. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I suppose. It really only matters if you're you know, playing to win against a friend. If you're just, I don't know. It's frustrating when the AI, you know, if you were to spend a whole match, you know, whittling down this tough AI and then just walks out the door on you.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of things to consider there.
Well,
I think you could, in one game, the referee had to unlock the door, and he was just fumbling about, taking his time. You know, it takes forever to unlock it, and sort of that compensates for climbing over the cage. But you know, I don't know. Then, you know, why not just climb the cage at that point?
Right. Well, what's going to be interesting to see is, like I said, going into that whole, we may have to have a couple of different cages based on different ring sizes or something. We'll have to think about that down the road. But we're getting some love for the Attitude Era cage, which I always thought the Attitude Era cage was just the old blue painted black, right? The one where Stone Cold and
oh, was it?
Man, I thought. Hang on, I gotta look now. Some of this.
Yeah, I don't really know, but I feel like once the Hell in the Cell came to be, I think that was the end of the blue cage. Pretty much.
Because I see Austin and McMahon, and it's a cage, and it looks like the identical cage, just black. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell had the chain link, which is the chain link is badass. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's pretty cool.
No doubt about it. But I don't know. There's just something. It's a sentimental thing, I think, for me. I think that's like I said, for me, when I first started watching wrestling, that was the cage. Although I have to, I go farther back. The first cage match I ever saw was Randy Savage taking the title from Tito Santana in a cage, and it confused me. And this was true for probably a couple of years, that I got very confused because I thought the Intercontinental match always had to be decided in a steel cage. And so I remember seeing a match, and I was like, how can the title be on the line? They're not in a cage. This was completely confusing to me. And what I didn't understand was that that was just, it was a cage match because it was such a heated rivalry and all that kind of stuff. But I was very confused by that for the longest time, that I thought all intercontinental matches had to be done inside of a steel cage. Catching up on yes, we would love different selections of cages. I think that's kind of the whole point where we're bringing out Old Blue, is because give a little variety, because everybody likes different stuff. And
yeah, if we're talking about DLC and shit, I think Blue would be the standard one that you'd get, for free, or it's released first, or however we decide to do it. And then you would customize it. Maybe you want the chain link one. Maybe we have that funky. Did you see that WCW? I think they had a cage that was like, when the malls kind of close down and they slide those guys.
Yes.
Cars. I feel like WCW had something like that.
Ooh.
Like,
that might be a Google search. I want to check that out because I don't off the top of my head, I don't remember that. But it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know for sure, but I thought I remember seeing that one time.
Well, because they had that that triple cage, which was just junk.
No, I'm talking like long before that. I think.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I can.
I feel like it was like.
Oh my god! While I'm looking that up, there's some fun. I'm gonna put my browser window back open here so they can see it.
Did you find something?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop it open here really quick. I found a couple of really wild ones. It's just a riot looking at some of these old images. They've got one that's like a full, they call it, what is this, the Thunder Cage? Oh my dear lord, that looks just crazy. It looks like something out of Mexico. Yeah, check this one out. I just sent it to you via Skype. Chat can, the broadcast can see it. It's a six-sided cage, but it's like a circular cage. It looks like almost like a silo with like a roof over the top. It's very similar to what TNA did, but I've never seen this cage before. This is a very wild-looking one. That's pretty wild.
Crazy! Oh, that almost looks like toys in there.
I know, doesn't it? It's kind of a wild-looking. I remember, who was it, Homicide, that had to try to climb out of that thing, and he got kind of stuck. Not stuck, but he got gassed. Because that's a hard climb. Look at that thing.
Oh, yeah. That's like American Ninja stuff, climbing
That's
up.
exactly right. That's exactly right. It's like the finals of the Ninja. Yeah, and it's that's just completely insane. But there's a few ones here that are pretty fun. Some that look almost like you just have almost like chicken wire, where you've got there's this one right here. This is a TNA 6 sides of steel that claims to be electrified. I do not remember this one at all, but this looks young. I think that's Jerry Lynn in the ring, so that's probably why. I just sent you another link. Yeah, where it's like you have a steel frame all the way around, and then it's it's just kind of wire. It's just kind of loose. It almost reminds me a little bit of the the Elimination Chamber, where it's all chain link.
Okay.
Just more variety. Just more variety. So I'm just kind of, as I'm seeing things, I'm just kind of loading them in here. This is kind of fun to. I haven't seen like the one that you're talking about just yet. But it doesn't mean it's not in here. God, a lot of that triple cage.
Who knows?
The triple cage is pretty cool looking. I mean, I have to admit, it was a terrible match, and but I still think it's pretty menacing looking. I think it, but the match itself was terrible. I was going to try to see if they had anything.
Yeah, it's more of a spectacle than an actual.
Yep.
Match per se. Okay, I can't. What I'm realizing is here. We also have to kind of be aware of what ring posts we may make in the future.
Mm-hmm.
If this starts getting too close, right?
Very true. Because I think it goes on the inside of the ring post, right? It doesn't like connect the outside of it. I'll have to look. Let's see if I got any good shots of it. Yeah, because I think because the posts are the outside. Yeah, the posts are to the outside. Yeah, because it all sits. Usually it sits on the ring. Okay, that image is too small. Because usually it sits on the ring. I've seen it a lot of times, and then they have like, you'll see like cabling that's connected, and that's how they lower it down.
Yeah, there's some kind of, something up here, some connection points. Yeah, we should include that as well.
I was just trying to see if I could see any other. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, look at TNA's steel cage. I forgot about this one. That's an old one. This is kind of a bad picture of this. Yeah, because TNA had like a full-blown, like it was like 3 solid pieces. Like it looked like almost like a carbon fiber. I'm sure it wasn't carbon fiber, but it was like 3 segments in a row. Just trying to see if I had any other pictures of that. And then they've had a couple different ones over the years. Oh my God, I haven't thought about aces and eights in a long time. Wow. Because that's the other fun thing is looking at cage matches on an indie level. Sometimes that's kind of fun too, to see what people come up with there from an indie perspective. Because those, I've seen that one before. Because it's literally almost looks like they just kind of grab something, you know, out of a yard somewhere. Just throw up a bunch of bar. I mean, it does. It looks like it's right out of, you know, Jersey Joe's construction site. Let's try to see if there's any other good ones. I mean, we've seen a lot of these before. What is that one? Oh my God, the Punjabi prison match. I haven't thought about that in forever. It's basically taking the same blue bar cage, only it's made of like bamboo or something. Have you seen this one?
No, that's a great idea though.
It was one of the worst matches of all time, but the visual was cool. Yeah, check this one out. Yeah, it's made of like bamboo. It looks, I mean, visually it looks amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. Let me
That's a wild look. I haven't thought about that one in a long time. I'm not even sure I actually saw that match. I just know it by its reputation, because that was the one where it was Great Khali. That was like his match, and you know, Great Khali does not, that is not one that's like, oh wow, 5-star match with Khali. Holy crap! I actually, oh my God, yeah, check that out. Oh God, that is me, folks. I don't know how Google is a fun thing. Oh God, check this out. This is when I did an interview about the video game. Oh God, that's so lame. I'm so embarrassed by that photo. It's so bad. The photographer's just like, yeah, okay, it's a wrestling game, right? So I'm gonna like get you taking a picture of you and like behind the chain link fence. I'm like, oh, all right, okay. Look like a total badass, don't I? Oh God. But that's like, that shows up in like the third page of the Google search is for steel cage. So
wow.
I'm hardcore, folks. Suck it.
Immortalized.
Oh, it's a good thing I love you, chat. That's pretty embarrassing. That's pretty bad. Google image searches are the craziest. Why is the picture of Stevie Wonder? I don't even know. So we got Matt Dickey. I think has got some screenshots in here. Is chat giving me? Oh, okay. They haven't seen it yet, or they just don't care. I haven't taken any heat for it yet. That's good. We're definitely getting some other ideas though. Like, somebody wants a steel cage. It's nothing but like all barbed wire. It's like, ouch. Yeah, I suppose. I don't want to be the ring crew that has to put that thing up.
Oh, no
No
way.
thanks.
That'd be awful. Well, the bamboo is cool, yeah.
The
what else can
bamboo,
you
I mean, it looks
build
hot. Don't get me wrong. I just remember like that was like Kali's big match. Is the
No,
Punjabi-
that's a good idea. You know, because you have to make, because you want to make skins of things, right?
Right.
Like variations of, you know, so
Well,
you
I mean,
so
'cause
people
you could
can
do
customize
any kind
their
of
shit.
material that you could think of that would be any kind of any kind of bars, any kind of fencing, any kind of there's any number of ways to do it.
Picket fence.
Hell yeah, that's right. Oh man, I would pay to see a picket fence match or a picket fence cage. Oh god.
Oh man, and there's those like pointy things at the top you got to climb over, like the pointy.
All right. Well, I remember we had God. We used to we built like this like a neighborhood tennis court, and we had like the plastic. Oh, it's like this plastic mesh. It's not even like a real. It's not even like real. It's like this plastic, like stretchy mesh, and it's absolutely terrible. I thought, God, that would be like the worst steel cage ever, or the worst cage ever. But yeah, it's good times. I said that would be fun to play around with all those different combos and stuff. Because I mean, you really said it's pretty much any. What's wonderful is we've kind of got the ability to just because we don't actually have to build it in real life. We can have much more imaginative materials for some kind of boundaries around the cage.
Oh, it can be rickety looking, Nobody has to sign waivers to climb the damn thing,
It could be like, it could be like all rusted out, and like, they have like weak points, like when he's climbing it, it just collapses underneath it. Or
that's a good idea.
Cage
right?
match.
Like if you're in the bamboo match and if you climb the same area too many times, it's just gonna bail out on you one time.
Dude, I think that would be awesome. Or it could just like collapse. Like it could just be like, Botchamania cage match where the guy's climbing up and like the support breaks and the wall falls over. Wasn't that the finish of a match? Like, did they do that for Big Show? Chat will help me here. Like Big Show, I thought Big Show like ripped the cage wall down or something like he just ripped the whole segment off. I don't think it was Rusev. I think it was Big Show. Oh yeah, we've got a couple people doing the Tower of Doom. Yeah, the triple cage. Like I said, I think it would be fun to recreate from a visual standpoint. It did look cool. But again, the match itself was awful. Because that's the other thing that kind of goes along with this is, are these just environments to fight in, or are there custom rules that go along with these matches? Like the triple cage was kind of wild. I don't think they had ladders. Did they have ladders going between? It was Mark Henry that pulled the cage door off. That's what it was. Thank you. Big Show threw a wrestler into the cage and it like fell over, I thought, or did something like that. Mark Henry ripped the door off. I remember that now. Thank you, chat. Yeah, because I mean that's kind of the thing too. Is like I said, if we have these great environments, do we have to come up with like a custom rule set for how the match actually behaves, or is these just like, hey, it's an environment to just kick ass in? It's probably both.
I don't know. That's up for debate, I suppose.
That's right. The cage did not fall over. I think it broke on one of the supports so that the whole cage swung open as opposed to like fall down into the crowd, which makes total sense. Yeah, through Austin. Yep, Valentine's Day Massacre. Thank you very much. But that would be fun. Still thinking about the picket fence cage. Oh man, it's the fight of the neighborhood. Battle for territory.
Nails and stuff. Slivers.
That's right. He's climbing it up. He gets like a sliver
in your house.
Oh no, he didn't. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Oh god. Yeah, but people would be pissed because they couldn't see through the cage. It's just like they're just looking at this square box, and it's like, oh no, we didn't make enough room between the slats and the fencing.
Yeah,
nobody can tell what's happening. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't know. Yeah, we got to think of some building materials, I guess.
Well, so, and I'm sure the fans will come up with some stuff too. Because I mean, like I said, anything you can build a wall out of. I mean, there's nothing that says you couldn't have like something that was like, you know, cinder blocks below and then like fencing on top of it. Because I mean, you know, you don't really have to worry about building these things in real life to an extent. I mean, you want it to look somewhat realistic, you know, and be, you know, put together in theory. But you know, that could be fun. I was gonna say a cinder block.
Check. Yeah, I found an image here that I think might be what I was talking about, and see if you can figure out. Oh, is this the triple thing? No, this is probably the triple thing. Never mind. Okay.
You pasting something, or no?
I changed my mind. Oh, here we go. This one's cool. This is a cool one. Let me know. This is a good idea for a material. It's like a chain. Yeah, just chains. Not a chain link, but everything is.
Oh, that's the elimination chamber.
Oh, this is the elimination chamber.
I'm going to pop it up in the chat and make confirm. Yeah, because remember, like I said, there was another one. It's a very odd. It's a very odd material because you can't really climb it because there's not any like supports there. Like it's not heavy enough, and so like you can. But they slide around a little bit. It's kind of treacherous because I remember RVD was scaling it, and I remember one time he did like a Spider-Man approach where somebody like threw him into it, and he just like climbed up and he just stuck on the cage. Yeah, those things slide around a lot. Yeah, that's how the elimination chamber is built. It's just nothing but chain link. It's like I think they spray painted it black. This one looks a little more. I like the silver. That's kind of a hot look.
Look at this rickety old GIF I found. This is about the scale we're going for.
Let's see. Yeah, let me pop that open here. Oh, look at that thing. Oh my god! How did he even... Okay, I gotta blow that one up. You still with me there? I think I lost your audio feed.
No, I'm just watching it in awe.
Yeah, let me blow that up a little bit. Wow, look how rickety that thing is. Oh my god, that's no wonder he missed. The whole damn thing collapsed underneath his weight. God, what was that thing made out of? Like cardboard? That's terrible.
I don't know. It's like pewter or something.
Wow. Well, it's just, you can just tell it's really, really thin, whatever it is. Wow. That's pretty funny. Yeah, it's fun chasing. Like I said, it's fun watching all these different materials. Because as I said, it's you know, you had the old school back in the day where it was just pretty much all chain link, and then yeah, people have gotten a little more creative with some of these materials over the years.
Yeah, anything we can think of is good. So even if Chad has some ideas, you know.
Cage made with lead pipes, I could easily see, like, because I mean that thing would be heavy as hell. But again, if you don't have to worry about actually transporting it or like lowering it down from anywhere, that'd be a pretty buff looking, you know, with some pretty meaty looking pipes. Yeah, Punjabi prison. Yep, we had it. We had one made of like some kind of aluminum. That'd be pretty wild. Yeah, the Punjabi, like I said, it was a hell of a structure. It's never, that's got to be sitting in the warehouse somewhere. There
you go. Okay, so I just want to increase the height of these guys so that I can put that bit of wire between here.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure that wire was just probably some kind of a stabilizer across the top. In fact, it's entirely. I said that's probably how that thing was held together. It's just those wires back and forth across the top. Probably put some tension on them to keep the panels like close to each other.
I think in some cases they never even disconnected them. They just they were just always, you know, to whatever the assembly was that lowered them into the like down from the rafters, right? They always stayed connected. I guess, you know, by those cables.
Well, I remember when I said that same Kellogg Arena. I remember that's how they build the cage. Is it really is like squares that they just drag out and then push up and then kind of tension it all together. They don't, at least in the one. I think nowadays it's in vogue to just like drop it from the ceiling, like kind of already pre-built. But I know when I was like, you watched them build it. They took an intermission while they built the cage up for the main event. I'm sure some of that was just an excuse to sell some T-shirts, but they did. They built, and that's how they would build it. Is they would just drag the pieces out from underneath the ring, and then just throw them up, and then kind of tension them all together with some kind of connection. What image is Cole using as reference for the cage? We've been Googling kind of all night, looking at the different perspectives, but you've seen a lot of the ones. If you kind of Google blue steel cage, you'll see a lot of the ones that we've seen.
Okay, I'll be right back. Somebody's knocking at my door here. I'll keep going.
Let me. I'm having trouble. Young one. I'm having trouble like pasting your link here. Wow! Look at that. That's a lot of light tubes. Let me see if I can find that one. Let me see if I can try to find that one. Steel cage.
Hello?
Yep, I'm here. I'm popping open another one here. I've got somebody posted one in chat. It's a pretty gruesome one. It's like lined with light tubes.
Oh my!
That is just brutal. Yeah,
sounds dangerous. I guess you could make it out of like ring ropes or something too, maybe, or just rope. I don't know. Well, maybe you still want like. You still want it, like, because if we have moves where the dude, like, rams the other guy into the cage, still want it to look like it's going to hurt.
Right, and you want it to look, like, somewhat realistic. You don't want it to just be, you know, some you know, something like a total, you know, fantasy construction, you know, whether it's floating or something, but, you know, it's made of cotton candy or something. Oh, dude, it needs to be made out of Twizzlers. Oh man, who is it? It's Joey Ryan that actually had like not a sponsorship deal, but he'll pimp. I think it actually is official brand Twizzlers, and he's gotten a lot of pub and like Sports Center, some of these other ones where he's done the hardcore matches where they'll like, you know, fight with like Legos and gummy worms. Or like gummy bears, like, you know how they'll you know, like instead of the thumbtack spot, he'll do like Legos. Or then I've seen another one that it's like I think this was for Chikara, where he spilled like gummy bears all over the ring, and the announcers sold it like it was the worst thing in the world that he got power bombed on. They were like, "Oh my god, it's so violent! It's so violent!" It was pretty funny. I laughed.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we got people calling back to the Fire Pro, like minefields and bombs and C4 and all that stuff. Yeah, the object is to eat your way out of the cage.
That's what Dave would say.
What's that?
Dave would be all over the bombs and C4.
Yeah, the C4. Yeah. I mean, I remember the biggest thing I remember about that that C4 was that I remember Cactus Jack in his book said that thing it was like the loudest thing he's ever heard. Oh my God! Somebody just suggested a cage made of Legos. I am totally all about that. John Xanadu, Diamond Dallas Page cookie match. I get that reference, and that's very funny. Did you ever hear that story about? I think it was Cactus Jack. I think it was Cactus Jack. They played a rib on DDP by stuffing his bed full of like cookie crumbs, and he had like a total meltdown. They said it was like one of the funniest, the funniest ribs because of just like how well he just was like not having it. He was having a really, really bad night, and so they're like, all right, let's just pile on just because we can. And yeah, he was like had a horrible night, and he's just like, I just want to go to sleep. And they filled his bed full of cookie crumbs. It's so awful. But I like the cage made out of Legos. I actually still. All right, I'll share this much. I actually subscribe to a service that is Netflix for Legos. They send you sets, and then you build them, take apart, and send them back, and then they just keep sending you more. And I built like all these incredible sets, all these Star Wars sets and stuff that I could never afford in a million years to go out and actually like buy them. So I'm hardcore Lego when it comes to stuff like that, and I would totally mark out for a Lego match. Yeah, they were given a plate of cookies by a fan, so they put the cookies under his pillow, and he went nuts. Yeah, I heard the story a little bit differently, but it's all good. It's all anything that drives DDP crazy. Although I'm a fan, I really do like DDP. I was always kind of a mark for him, and I do his yoga, so it's all good. No judgment. A cage on a pole match. Yeah, like that. It's kind of anti-gravity. I like that. That's pretty funny. I'm sure. Yeah, if you're looking for it, Netflix for Legos. It's called Play. PLEY .com, and it's so funny because they're all like, "Yeah, have your kid take his picture when he's playing his Lego sets." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm 42 years old. That's the last thing they want to see is me taking a picture." Like they have like 8-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 7-year-old, boys and girls playing with their toys, and then it's like, 40-year-old, guy who hasn't shaved in 3 days. Hey, I play Legos too. I'm sure that's makes me feel like a real winner, but that's all right. I have fun with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm in the middle of building one right now. It's like one of the Emperor's shuttle ship from Return of the Jedi, that big giant thing with the 3 wings. I'm building that one right now, and it's cool. So, it's all good. These are things that are just going to keep me single for the rest of my life, but, what are you going to do? Sorry, chat went quiet. Apparently I've killed the buzz by describing them my superstar lifestyle. That's all right. But holy crap, we were already over an hour tonight. How about that?
Oh, really?
I wasn't thinking we were going that long, but dude, this cage is starting to look pretty badass.
Yeah, I'm just making the non-door part.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Yeah, because I remember that's how it usually worked. It was you had like all these different wall segments, and so they'd have like 1, 2, so it was like 7 of these regular panels, and then they would have like another one that was like a half panel, and then that was like one that was like the door panel, and they'd set that up kind of on the one side, depending on if they're doing like hard camera mode or wherever it's. Wherever it is. So
yeah, it being split in half, like in sections in half like this, kind of makes it easier to build.
Well, because you have to figure that they're trying to get. They're trying to have something that they can. Maybe that was another reason why they went that route too. Is they wanted something they could assemble really quickly too. Because if they're talking about a pay-per-view, although in WrestleMania 2. That was the one that they broadcast from 3 different locations. So they had time in the one location to actually set up the cage. But I guess they really did it for Saturday night's main event too. Yeah, because it's faster to just put that thing together and then just lower it from the ceiling, rather than like constructing it from scratch every time. But I always thought that was kind of a cool thing. Like, it really got you hyped for the match, to see them like pulling these segments out and all that kind of stuff. But probably from a safety standpoint too, they probably have to like get in there and like test that stuff, and it's probably hard to do when you're trying to make it structurally sound and you're trying to construct it on the fly like that. So. How are you? Are you eyeballing the precision there on the space between those things? Are you able to like kind of snap to halfway points and quarter points?
I'm just eyeballing them right now.
Gotcha.
I fucking accidentally deleted something that I kind of needed. Let's see here. Wait a second. Yeah, I'm kind of, you have to get, this isn't like really the best software for doing super precise shit, but it's a little better for just slapping stuff together and,
well, it's a prototype kind of a deal.
Prototyping things. But, and like, what I should be doing too is like taking pieces of that other cage and, making them work here. And
so we're trying to, it's a proof of concept, try to get something visually to kind of take a look at, and the climbing physics and how all that works is going to have to be, and that's going to be fun. Yes, young one, quick question: is there eventually going to be a referee? I would love to have refs in here eventually. I think that's a big component to a game, and I have advocated from day one that I want to be a ref in the game. I don't care about being an active wrestler or a selectable character, but I want to be a ref. Yeah, because it would be fun to bump refs. It would be fun to have referees like you bump him like 6 times, and then he just eventually has a meltdown and goes into like unstoppable kill mode. There's a couple of pretty funny YouTube clips about that at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Where they just kind of push the ref too far, so he just like starts power bombing the shit out of everybody. It's pretty funny, and that gets the crowd insanely hyped. Yeah, playable ref with shenanigans involved. I mean, I could easily see certain referees having like deviations in how fast they count. Just like little minute. Okay, this one ref is notoriously slow, or this one ref is notoriously fast, and have it almost like be like randomized or something. I mean, I could easily see that kind of stuff coming into play, and then you have like 1 or 2 that are like the ultimate call it down the middle, as fair as it gets, so you have like a kind of a standard referee. But I think the potential to be had for injecting some personality into that kind of stuff. And I mean, even down the road, how cool would it be to have like a third player be in there and have be a specialty referee player type, then just to have, hey, this guy's a really good referee, he counts, and you'd be able to push the button when you're doing 1, 2, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, could be fun. I mean, this is all probably years away. They're not even we don't even quite have our top rope move working yet, although we've got the animation and it looks hot, gang. Big props to Cola there. We're just waiting on our man Robert to kind of integrate all that kind of stuff, but looks really, really good. Oh, see, somebody told me that the WWE game has already done that with the referee counting and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. SmackDown, shut your mouth. There we go. See, this is where my generational gap in my wrestling games starts being exposed pretty quickly, because I kind of stopped after No Mercy, and I never had PlayStation or anything like that. So yeah, I guess it was a good idea. Here comes the pain I'm hearing. in there. So.
Well, it's a good idea. It's good to do.
Yeah, dude, it's starting to come along.
Okay.
Oh, did you dump the characters in there for like reference, like size reference?
Yeah, for scale reference here.
Yeah. Dude, that looks hot.
Yeah. This little cable guy. I think we'll stick with that. I saw this only in I only saw this detail in the old.
Well, you said the Hogan Andre, shot that you had. I've seen it a bunch. I've seen it quite a few times.
It might make it hard to stand on.
Well, and I'm wondering. Like I said, for me, I'm assuming my assumption is that is something that is like it has some tension on it because it kind of has those turnbuckly things on the outsides of it. You know, like kind of like the wire, and so I assume that there's some tension on those things, but I don't know. I have no idea. But you're right. It almost looks like it ought to be like barbed wire or something. You know, like a razor wire along the top of something like that. God, you know, so like the match has to end in a pinfall on the inside. Like you're not allowed to climb out of the cage. Like there's no escape. God, yeah, razor wire at the top would be insane. Lethal Lockdown, that was the match you were thinking of with TNA and the baseball bats. That's what that was.
Oh, yeah. See, that's a good idea, I think, because it takes away the, the sort of that problem where, you know, like, you have to artificially make the characters climb up there slow because because that's all you can really do to balance how long the match lasts and stuff. Whereas if you're just going up there to get a weapon, then it's not quite so.
Well, you could always climb. I remember No Mercy. You always climb, but you had to do the button mash to actually get yourself over the top. Right? Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah. That's how they kind of approached it, which is it's just kind of weird to. It's just a weird gate at the top, you know, like it's. I don't know. It doesn't really. Like the best solution is something that looks like natural to watch, I think. And that's
something that wrestling fans are kind of familiar with. I mean, because climbing the cage is hard. I mean, it's not like, you know, a guy like Rey Mysterio could probably. I mean, maybe that's even something that factors in that there's a speed component. You know, a lighter weight wrestler zips up the wall as opposed to a giant or a heavyweight that kind of lumbers up the wall. But it's still hard to like kind of do the pull up and then kind of like swing your leg over and then work your way down. So I mean there is some kind of a pacing there. There is some kind of a natural timing we could integrate. And I thought No Mercy did it pretty well, where you kind of have to get yourself over it. So
their cage was like so big.
Well, and it probably it's probably to your point. It probably was tall in order to kind of balance out the game mechanics. That's probably something that they discovered.
Yeah, I think so.
Video game wrap up. We did talk a little bit about that, using like the invisible fourth wall, so that you can kind of see through the cage, so it's easier to see playing. That's something that we're probably going to have to try to figure out. Like if the cage is very, especially for like the chain link, where if it's really opaque, we're going to have some kind of an adjustment so that you can kind of see through that wall a little bit more to be able to control your characters and all that stuff. And yeah, we'll probably be able to figure something out there. And I mean, even that could even probably be something that's a toggle as well. Like if you wanted the solid walls and you're like, okay, we got enough room to see the guys. Okay, cool. But if you had that kind of a preference to turn off that or turn on invisibility a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure Robert can easily do that kind of thing. It's pretty common.
I'm hard pressed to think of anything that Robert can't do at this point. So, I like how we're making all these promises. Oh yeah, Robert can just figure that out. You know, in the meantime, he's like, shut up.
Yeah, totally.
But that's all right. He's our wizard, man. It's all good.
Anyhow, I totally did not duplicate this properly, but it's kind of giving us a sense of scale here. And yeah.
Well, even if we have something to just kind of show people before we walk out of here tonight, you know.
Yeah, I gotta head out here pretty soon.
As I say, you looks like you're close. I'm hitting the wall pretty fast. I'm getting pretty tired myself, but I'm getting to be an old man. I can't stay up past 11 o'clock. But yeah, it's been a rough couple. Listen, I've been a rough couple of day job days where they, you know, because listen, I do self-employment for a reason. I'm an insomniac, and then, you know, if you have to get out of bed, you know, at normal people hours at like 6:30 or 7 in the morning, in order to be able to, you know, get a website live for a 9 o'clock presentation, like that beats me up. I can't, especially since I'd hardly slept that night. I mean, I went to bed like at 2:30. And then getting right up at 6:30 to try to crank on more code that I just couldn't do anymore. That beats you up. I can't do that too often. So I'm still playing catch up there. But
yeah,
you're getting good people are good comments in the chat. They're saying it looks really hot, and I agree. I think it's coming along really nicely.
Yeah, I think we did enough. You know, we like did a little bit of research and it helped out everybody kind of pulling together here.
Well, like I said, these are gonna have to be things that we're gonna have to just kind of figure out. I mean, they said we take our best stab at these things, but God, look at that! Yeah, zoom in on that again. That was really cool. Wow, look at that! God, it does. That's pretty cool.
We'll have to figure out, yeah.
God, old blue. I'm telling you.
So here we got kind of a... Yeah, man. I think that's a fair height. I mean...
I do too. I think it especially, like you said, it maybe we don't, like I said, it's one thing to stick absolutely to the reference, but if we have the ability to make it a little bit taller or something, just to make it that much more menacing.
Sure.
Can you zoom into the cage and look out from it? Like, do you have that ability?
You kind of can't really go through geometry.
Okay. Just,
I can kind of, you know, do one of these guys.
Ah, okay.
So from gameplay.
Can you do exactly what you just did, only make it opaque? Like transparent, like give it a 10% opacity or something?
Kinda, yeah. I was kind of playing around with that, so...
No big deal. I was just curious. I thought that might kind of be...
See here? Like, you kind of see through this guy?
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of like that, but...
So I know I go to Photoshop and thinking, can't you just make it 10% opacity? You know, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No stress. I'm just curious.
Yeah, just a prototype that look, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we're talking about.
Right.
I totally know what you mean, but
oh, look at that.
Kind of.
Yeah, zoom in on that a little bit. That looks tight. Yeah, see, I mean that's reasonable. Look at that. I think that seems pretty fair.
Yeah, so I guess this is kind of close to the opacity. I think it could be a little less.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think your instincts are right on the money there. Look at that. Yeah, you're getting that looks beautiful. Nice work. Looks awesome. Very nice. Très magnifique. That's perfect. Not too tall or too short. Leave it that way. So
okay,
your gut is right on, at least according to the guys in chat here, and I think it looks good to me. It's astonishing because I'm starting to see just how big our ring is now. Like when you put the guys in the ring and you kind of do it that way, it really does feel like a really big ring. Is that a 20-foot ring, like a 20 by 20 at this scale?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's larger.
I think
guys
was
are
WWE 15 by 15. I can't remember. I cannot remember.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'd have to dig into the metrics and figure it out, because we kind of like Robert kind of eyeballed the scale, and then I matched what I had to what his game what he had defined in Unity. So we kind of went backwards. We kind of fielded out in game and then made the ring that size. So I don't know the exact scale in feet, compared to characters.
Gotcha. It's all good. For me, I mean, we're going to have eventually down the road multiple ring sizes and all that kind of stuff, so it really doesn't matter. Like I said, when you're in game, it feels great. I mean, I think it's enough room to get, it doesn't feel cluttered, especially if we start getting into things like tag matches or battle royals or, Royal Rumble modes where multiple people are going to be in the ring. It's going to be nice to not have them, like, right all on top of each other, It's
better to go a little bigger than a little too small, I've decided. Sort of, Robert kind of convinced me of that. Because we don't really have you don't have total control over where, you're kind of at the mercy of what the move does, as far as how far it throws somebody.
Right.
Kind of and if we ever add any like rope physics, people getting stuck in the ropes, then you're really going to want a big ring. It's going to start affecting you that way.
Well, like I said,
so anyway,
all these, lots of options down the road, but I think this is a pretty damn good prototype to start with, man. I said, and the fans got some good mark out action here tonight in chat. I think people are pretty impressed. Nice. I think this will be a fun one to watch after the fact too, because like I said, this is fun to see how all this kind of comes together. So cool. With that, I think we are going to call it a night. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, gang. The questions were great as always. Send us your thoughts, and you guys all know the drill by now. ProWrestlingX.com, at Facebook /ProWrestlingX, and then ProWrestlingX on Twitter as well. So sign up on our email list, all that stuff. We'll definitely send Dave some good vibes and all that kind of stuff as he heals up from his surgery and stuff. And I know he was itching to come back in here tonight, but he just said he's got to go. I guess he said he's doing like physical therapy like three times a day or something like that, and it's kicking his butt. So, no, don't go. I'm sorry. We're all like, it's late, and we all have like supper, and Alex got supper to eat and all that kind of stuff, and then I've got sleep to get. So, if we start droning on into like that 90-minute mark, then the material starts getting really bad because we all start getting kind of loopy. That's where you start. Hey, oh my God, the Republican debate was on tonight. I totally forgot about it. I knew there was a reason I was dodging social media tonight.
I'll be watching that tomorrow. Those are fun. I have fun time watching those debates. It's so
sorry.
stupid.
Nope. I can't do it.
Have you noticed this year? Sorry to. As we were saying goodbye, but have you noticed they introduced that rule where if you mention somebody's name, then they get to immediately rebuttal, right?
Really? Oh, see, I haven't watched any debates at all. Like, I just feel like it's like watching, because they all in the primary season, they're all trying to out crazy each other. Like, if somebody tries to make something crazy, then another guy will double down on it and try to like one up them, and it eventually just like even the Republicans and Democrats both do it, and I just like, what, I just like moderate politicians. I don't want psychos from either side. So I can't watch those primary debates, especially, are just so hard because they're just trying to like, no, I'm crazier than you, no, I'm even more crazy than that, and it's just this arms race of insanity, and by the time you get done with it, you're just like, oh my God. Like,
what they do is
they're asteroid,
It's so transparent. They'll ask, they usually just ask, like Hillary Clinton all the questions and shit, and then they'll ask, someone you've never heard of, but they'll ask them a question about Hillary Clinton's policy.
Yeah, I know.
So they have to answer. They have to mention her in their rebuttal, and then they say, "Oh, because you mentioned Hillary, we got to give Hillary a chance to speak again."
You're right.
It's like, it's so apparent that they just want to, give Hillary as much time as they possibly can. It's really It's really
retarded. Because they're all trying to craft a story, although they were saying at this time in the... which election was it? That at this point in 2012, Herman Cain was the Republican frontrunner. He was another crazy guy. And he just, like I said, that's why like people are like, why are we even paying any attention to this stuff? Because it's so far away, and there's so many things that are going to change that to try to predict. Because it was the same thing with Hillary and Barack Obama back in the day in 2008. That everybody, oh yeah, it's Hillary, and then this guy came out of nowhere and just like blew the doors off of everybody in like the last, not even last year. It was less than a year, and so. I don't know. I the more I think about it, I think somebody like Rubio is probably going to sneak in because he's a little bit more electable than I think Trump or anything Carson or any of these other guys. I think Rubio is going to be, one of the guys they're grooming. But I don't know, man. For now, I dodge social media tonight of all nights, and I'll watch sports. The one thing that can unite us as a country is hatred for like the Patriots. The Yankees and that stuff, but
okay. Well, I better run.
Yeah, I do too. Thank you guys. This was fun. Like I said, please keep staying tuned. We're trying to do these every Tuesday when we can. Hopefully, like I said, we'll get Robert rocking and rolling again. But again, he's got to, we all got to pay bills and all that stuff. So. We all got spoiled pretty quickly with his pace, but I know he wants to be doing it. He's emailing Dave every day, and they're talking about stuff, and so wheels are definitely in motion. It's just a matter of making sure he's got enough hours to throw down, and then, like I said, we want the dude to sleep and eat and all that kind of fun stuff. So, but cool. All right, wrapping up tonight. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Thanks, guys, for coming and helping out with this cage.
Absolutely.